Okay, guys, I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. So a lot of people have been asking about the detergent because I was going to be sending out a lot of samples. To those of you that are long distance, of course, I'll send samples. Um, However, when it comes to like locals, I've had a lot of requests and a lot of people with skin issues. We totally get it. Now, concerning the skincare products, moisturizers and things like that, yes, I have plenty of wonderful things that I could make, but coming up with the ingredients is super hard with all the supply chain stuff and the everything shortages. I think we all know where I'm going with that. Prepper directions. I think it's funny people call us preppers. We're just survivalists. So my grandparents always, they came out of the Depression. They always kept me in the loop on how to make butter, how to make all these different things homemade from scratch. We can even grind our own grains and make our own flour and things like that if we need to. We have a huge mortar and pestle. I don't play. We'll survive no matter what. We made it through a lot of hurricanes and a lot of hard times and a lot of rustic camping adventures. So our daughter has oculocutaneous albinism type 2, among several other genetic mutations, and an extra X chromosome comes from her dad. I just have a couple of recessive genes. That's why I'm blonde. Which means she's albino. Considering her skin is like hypersensitive from it, we had a lot of trouble with store-bought detergents, even the ones they say that are natural, organic, and this and that. It's just another couple of words they stamp on their expensive packaging so they can upsell and get people to spend more money for less. It really doesn't work that great. And anything with dyes and perfumes and sonomics and stuff like that, it's really horrible for you anyway. It's terrible for your skin. It's terrible for your immune system. It's terrible, causes allergies, creates allergies if you haven't had any before. So you think you're sneezing and coughing from allergies, and it's from all this junk that they pack full of it. And I thought it was amazing when we had to start making it using my grandma's old recipe, Grammy and Granddaddy. Because when I tried to look up the tutorials, they were pathetic. The stuff that they're making is like a bucket of soapy water. And I think they're just trying to show how to make it so they can try to reap some donations and make out like a bandit. And I'm sorry, I'm just not like that. I would prefer, rather than giving out samples and selling it to locals and other people if I can, to teaching you, because like I'm kind of a little smart aleck. I always have these different memes and stuff I come across, survivalist ones, like pretty soon all y'all are going to understand why your grandparents saved their bacon grease and things like that. Well, it's true with inflation and the everything shortages being created and stuff. It's important that we know, besides the fact that it's so much better for you and it's so much more affordable. I would get these ingredients as quick as you can. You're going to need these main ingredients. I'm going to show you now. Do not get anything that says organic. It's already organic. You don't even have to get borax if you can find a generic brand. This I got from the store. It happened to be one of the last ones on the shelf. We cannot afford our bulk right now. Otherwise, I'd be getting huge buckets, 5-gallon buckets of each of these items. Yes, this is baking soda. They used to call it washing soda and trick people into buying into the word of the package. Now they made it their same old packaging, and they're calling it exactly what it really is. You can even find it on your laundry soap aisle, on the bottom shelves, usually kind of hidden, pushed back, and very little of it, limited commodities, because they don't want people to know. They don't want you to know how to live and survive and save money or barter. So let's do this, guys. This is my new tutorial. I want to make sure you guys know how to survive, and I want you to take care of yourselves better and save more money rather than spend it all on their labels and their crap. So you're going to need some good old-fashioned baking soda, a huge box of it, or a 5-gallon cheap generic bucket of it off Amazon. You'll need 2 cups of that per 5-gallon bucket, because you're going to be using a 5-gallon bucket. You need 2 cups of good old-fashioned borax. It doesn't have to be by the name brand. You could just get this big old generic one on Amazon, or like a 5-gallon generic bucket on Amazon. You're going to take 2 regular cups of each and put it in your 5-gallon bucket with 1 cup of this. Some very generic Latino brand OxyClean, because it's basically just oxygenated powder. You don't have to buy OxyClean and spend all that money on their name in their pretty package container. Here it is for like $4 or $5 less, maybe even like $8 less. The same exact thing. If you read the ingredients, it's literally the same exact oxygenated powder. This one was my ingredient. My grandmother's recipe did not have this, but it does work really well. And it smells really nice. You do not need to add perfumes. The soaps have a gentle scent of their own to fight any stinks and stains. You can always throw a little extra in the washer, you know, like a little quarter cup or something extra, and it will help to deodorize it as well as the borax. So you're going to need 1 cup of your Ariel oxygenated powder, 2 cups of baking soda, 2 cups of borax for 1 5-gallon bucket. And you're going to take these Bell's Naphtha bars, 2 of them per bucket. You're going to shred them up with your cheese grater right into a bowl like I have, these wonderful cast aluminum pots. I'm going to have to pause this video and plug my phone in, and I'll be right back. Okay, and the other thing I want to make sure to point out is Zote is a great additive. I shred up either half a bar of the pink Zote for a stain fighting bucket, like for work clothes and things like that. My husband's work clothes or whatever, or the stinky sheets or whatever. And this one is really good for whitening. So you can shredded up a half of one of these. So in a moment, I'm going to have these shredded up. It takes me longer. I am disabled. I have a lot of neck and shoulder damage. But I sit down in my wonderful Rolly teacher's chair because I homeschool our child. As you guys know, she's legally blind. And this is our beautiful homeschool area. My teacher's desk. Yeah. All right, so let me pause this. I'm going to shred these up. I've already got a cup of this and 2 cups of our other powders in a 5-gallon bucket. And I've added some boiling hot water so it will dissolve. I'll show you just in a minute how we do the rest of it. Okay, so before I actually add it to the hot water, I wanted you to see what I had done here. This is my 5-gallon bucket with boiling hot water, 2 pots of boiling hot water added to the powdered substances, the oxygenated powder, 1 cup, 2 cups of borax, 2 cups of baking soda. And that way it's completely dissolved, because you don't want it, because if you don't make sure everything's dissolved, it'll get chunky like curdled milk. And it won't have that nice smooth gel consistency. You want it to coagulate properly. So super hot boiling water, 2 pots of it to your powdered substances. I put the water in the bucket first, 1 pot. Then I add the powdered substances, 2 cups and of each, and 1 of the oxygenated powder. And then I have my shredded up. Yes, you're going to whisk it. I prefer a nice long metal whisk. I don't have one right now, so I have to use my good kitchen ones. This is what your shredded Bell's Naphtha 2 bars will look like, and half of a Zote. The white one is the one I'm using today for whitening, a whitening bucket. So I have my boiling hot water ready for me to put it in there. So I'm going to pause it for a second so I can stand up and make sure I'm stable. Okay, so I'm not finding a good place to put you guys. Okay, I think that's good. All right, I hope you can see me. Let's see. That's better. Okay, now, these pots get extremely hot, so if you choose to go via a cast aluminum like I do, it's even better than cast iron, which I have all cast iron if you see down in my cabinets. Here's my small cast iron pot lid, so that's sitting on the stove, but I don't want to have to pick it up. It's heavy. My husband does that because I have damage. So I'm going to take these, and I'm literally going to just put this into the hot water, all of the shreds, and you have to stay with it. You cannot leave this sitting on the stove, and you don't want it on high. You want to put it on medium heat, because otherwise it'll just bubble right over, duh. And you take your whisk and gently just stir it on medium heat. Gently. I'm going to pause the video again It's going to look like this, like one big clump. And let me show you. And I'll just stay rolling for 1 minute. So sometimes when you first put it in, it kind of tries to clump up, of course, just like cheese or anything else. Also, by the way, it makes your house smell super, super, super nice while you're making it. Sometimes it can get a little pungent, that even Lily can't take the strength of it when we're making several buckets, and we have to open the windows. But it's no big deal because everybody smells the beauty of it. It's freaking awesome. I used to add oils. I saw people in their tutorials adding oils for scent. I tried it, and it worked if you use enough of it, but then it ruins the whole, I mean, it's like defeating the purpose of the, because I use my homemade oils so that it wouldn't be like perfumes that would break out my daughter's skin or irritate it. But it was kind of pointless because as much as I had to add to a 5-gallon bucket to make it even smell good in the clothing was like stupid expensive amount. So there was no point. It was defeating the entire purpose. And this smells nice enough anyway. It gives your clothes a nice, gentle, clean, fresh scent. Straight. Totally straight. It's just the way it's supposed to be, the way our ancestors and grandparents did it back in the day. Y'all Appalachians and Smoky Mountainers and Blue Ridge Mountainers. Appalachian. What's up? We're part of your tribe. All right, so if you still see soap flakes, you're not done. Okay, so I also let it rest here and there. Like, I don't always whisk it the entire time. I try to give it a chance to let the soap get hot and start melting and dissolving, and then I give it another stir in about another minute. But you cannot leave it on the stove because, as you can see, it's already foaming a little as the soap is melting down. And you don't want to cook the soap or burn it, you know, or bubble it over, defeating the purpose. And you don't want to cook the soap action out of it, where it's just smelly, good soapy water. All right, so I'm going to pause this while I get this melted down. I'll show you what it's going to look like before we pour it in our bucket. Okay, so here we go. No soap flakes. There's no soap flakes there. And as you can see, it's pretty much all turned to foam. There's no soap flakes present. That means that it is fully dissolved, and I want to take it off the heat and pour it in my 5-gallon bucket. So if you'll bear with me, I don't know where I can put you to do that in front of the camera. So if you just let me sit you right there for a minute. Okay, keep your whisk ready because you're going to need it. Okay, let me sit down in here. Okay, thank you, Lord. And carefully just kind of dump it right in your 5-gallon bucket. There we go. No soap flakes left. So it'll probably start to gel right away. Let's see. Beautiful. Yeah. Lily, does it smell good? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, who needs physical therapy and occupational therapy when you're doing stuff like this? I'm going to have to put some aspirin cream and lidocaine on my shoulder. All right, so here is our so far product. Okay, see, still no soap flakes. Good to go. It's gotten pretty thick, as you can tell. It's nice and thick. Coagulating nicely. And I'm going to add one final huge pot of boiling water. I'm going to fill it up so that I get all of the rest of the soap out of it, and I can fill my bucket. And then you have to continue to stir it overnight, like every hour or so. Keep going back and whisking it, and make sure that you keep up so that everything dissolves together. By the next morning, you have a 5-gallon bucket of the most awesome washing detergent that you can imagine. for a super cheap price. So in conclusion, people with serious skin issues, delicate skin, like our daughter with albinism, she's albino, like I said, she would break out in terrible hives from everything, and it would like literally cause her breathing distress and stuff from the perfumes and dyes, and even the stuff that says it's natural or organic, those are just more words so they can jack up the price on you for less. Also, of course, it was just so expensive since I've become disabled, and having a disabled child, and my husband was literally like staying home taking care of us for over a year and was never able to even get a paycheck. He never did get a paycheck going, which was horrible for him. So he went back to the workforce, and he's, of course, at Stone Row Pub and Eatery. They're back open. I don't know if you all know that, and they have an amazing menu. But even with that job, everything's been so tight. I thought there were months we weren't going to make it. You know, we were going to starve to death or something in here alone. So we just had to start doing things completely old school. We make our own cat food. If you'd like a recipe on that, hit me up. I'll put a tutorial up, which I probably will anyway, because most people are having a hard time finding pet food in the stores and or affording it. Yes, it's good for dogs too. We used to breed wolf hybrids, so you can use the same recipes for them. It's actually better for them, and no, you don't have to spend a whole ton of money on brown rice. You can use white rice. The other thing is butter and things like that. If you guys would like me to post some tutorials about that, of course, let me know, because that's always a popular one, because butter is way too expensive. I wouldn't really recommend the heavy whipping cream and ingredients from the regular stores, though. I would hit a farmer's market or a natural food store where you can get, grass-fed. If you know any local farmers, cow herders, or farmers markets where you can attain it, it's best. Even if you have to drive ways to get it, it's really best. It's funny because the last couple times I made butter, instead of having that nice yellow color to it, it had like a gray look, and I threw it out. There's something not right about the store products at this point, that we are practically boycotting everything. And of course, they gotta have their chips, so I won't let them get Frito-Lay and stuff. I let them get the Aldi's. I have never made chips except when I deep fried some tortillas, corn tortillas. You cut them in 4, and you can deep fry them in a little, deep oil or something, and make some tortilla chips. But I do know that they're very easy. I can always work on some recipes like that. I don't know if you guys realize that you can do all of these things over an open fire. So if there's a total lights out situation, and the fit hits the fan real bad, you can always survive even without electricity. I'm more than happy, and I am going to be making some wax melts today. Finally, I have a nice array of different scents. I'm going to start making some today. So by the end of by the end of next week, I will have at least 5 to 6 different scents to choose from made, as well as oils and perfume oils. Anointing oils are not for smelly good purposes, although they do. They are made for the anointing for prayer. So if you're interested to know more, of course, you can hit me up. Otherwise, if you already know, you're welcome to hit me up for a sample. If you haven't already. If you have,